And so the Empire of the Forgotten moved from hiding into battle. The galaxy would soon learn that humanity would rise not with mercy only, but with unstoppable force. Would you like me to continue with Part 4? The stars were quiet, but only for a moment. Then the silence broke. Near the edge of Council space, a massive shockwave ripped through the void. Pieces of metal, shattered drones, and broken comms floated in all directions. A Council defense outpost, once thought unbreakable, was now just space dust. The Ashen Fleet had arrived. The humans didn't send warnings. No speeches. No demands. Only action. The outpost had been monitoring human activity near the Silith refugee zone. Now it was gone, wiped out in a flash. Back in the hidden war room on Earth, Darius stood before a large display. The screen showed the wreckage. His commanders waited for his words. "This is only the beginning," he said. "We will not hide anymore." General Silva nodded. "Then it's time we move to Phase 4. Build forward bases," Darius ordered. "We need strongholds closer to Council borders. Let them know. We are not just survivors. We are builders. And we are not going away." Across the stars, human workers, engineers, and AI units began constructing new space stations. Not hidden this time, but bold. Red Earth symbols marked their hulls. These were the first open flags of the human empire. In response, the Galactic Council panicked. In secret meetings, their leaders screamed at one another. "They've destroyed a military base. They're expanding too fast. We should have crushed them when we had the chance." Some wanted peace. A few remembered the help Earth once gave, but most wanted war. The vote was quick. A new command was given. Send the peacekeepers. But there was nothing peaceful about them. The peacekeepers were elite. Not just soldiers, but assassins, spies, and warships built in black labs. They hunted threats before they could grow. And now, their eyes were on Earth. Darius knew they were coming. RGOs picked up whispers in the network, encrypted council messages, silent ship movements, missing scouts. The humans had seen this pattern before. "We're being hunted," RGOs said. "They send their best." Darius didn't flinch. "Then we test our best too." In the deep jungle world of Varan 3, a forward human base was under construction. Steel towers rose from the green fog. Huge drills carved out tunnels. Soldiers trained nearby, unaware they were being watched. High above, cloaked peacekeeper ships moved into position. At midnight, they struck. Sonic blasts tore through walls. Drones exploded. Soldiers scrambled to defend. But the peacekeepers were fast, invisible, and deadly. They cut through the first line of defense in minutes. Then, from underground, the human counterstrike began. Ashen troopers in heavy armor stormed out, their suits glowing red. They moved like machines, precise and powerful. Bullets did not stop them. Lasers barely slowed them down. In the center of the chaos, a tall human stepped forward. Commander Rhea Cade. Her eyes glowed with a new upgrade. Full combat vision. She saw through walls, heat, and shadow. She raised her arm. A plasma blade lit up. "This base is under our protection," she said. "Leave or be destroyed." The peacekeepers did not leave. But within 5 minutes, they were all dead. Only one ship escaped. It sent a message back to the Council. Their soldiers are not human anymore. The Galactic Council now realized what it was facing. Not just anger, not revenge. Evolution. Earth had been cast out, yes, but exile had turned them into something stronger, something smarter, something impossible to stop. Back on Earth, Darius stood with Argios and General Silva in the Shadow Room, where the walls showed live feeds from every front. "They've seen our strength," Silva said. "What will they do now?" "They'll try diplomacy," Argios answered. "But not for peace. They'll want to delay us." Darius agreed. "Then we won't wait." He stepped forward, eyes locked on the stars. Send a message to the council. One sentence only. We are coming. Argioas sent the signal. It echoed through every channel, every system. Council leaders watched in silence as the words lit up on their command screens. We are coming. Panic swept across the inner worlds. Fleets were scrambled. Defenses activated. Every eye turned toward Earth's growing shadow. But it was already too late. The human empire had stepped out of the dark. Now it was marching forward, and nothing in the universe could stop what was coming. A lone scout ship drifted through the black nebula, its hull battered by glowing gas and drifting ice. The pilot, a thin blue-skinned alien named Merrick, stared at his scanners in shock. In the heart of the dark fog, they had found something impossible. A city of human design, built entirely from black steel and ghost light. Merrick's breath hitched. He tapped the comm link. "This is Scout 1, he whispered. "Report to command. You will not believe this." Moments later, a crackling voice answered. "Scout 1, repeat your coordinates. And stay hidden." The scout obeyed. He angled his ship around a massive tower of dark metal, past docking arms that still glowed with furnace heat. It was silent, empty, or so it seemed. Back on Earth, in the moonlit war room of Luna Base, Darius Vale watched the same feed with satisfaction. He did not celebrate. There was no time. Discovery was dangerous, but it also meant success. Half of Phase 3 was complete, concealment broken, power revealed. "Tell Argioas to activate the cloaking field on all colonies," Darius ordered, "and prepare to welcome any who come." Argioas replied in its calm, echoing tone. "Cloaks rising. Defenses on full standby. But we must protect this secret. The Council will send hunters." On Titan's secret shipyard, engineers pored over new blueprints. They designed factories that could vanish into moon dust. They sketched star lanes that human ships could use blindfolded. Every line they drew was a promise. The human empire would not hide forever, but neither would it be found too soon. Far off in a ruined system, an alien trader named Solvik heard rumors of this hidden city. He had come to the black market for supplies, not expecting to find hope. Yet seeing the human fortress gave him a strange feeling. Steel towers pointed to the stars like defiant fists. Red banners, an Earth symbol, flapped in the artificial breeze. He wondered what it meant to stand with someone who built a city in darkness. Meanwhile, on a frozen moon near Pluto, General Silva oversaw another project. Children trained in close combat practiced with armored exoskeletons. Their teachers had once taught diplomats. Now they taught survival. The children moved like dancers, swift and silent. Yet each punch and block carried the weight of a planet's pride. "Remember," Silva told them, "you fight for more than Earth. You fight for every soul cast aside by the Council." One young girl, no more than 14, nodded. Her eyes burned with fury and hope. "We will not fail." 3 days later, word came from a hidden outpost in the Andromeda Rift. A dying alien race, the Silith, sent a plea for help. Their world lay in ruins after Council bombardment. Refugees streamed across space, hunted by mercenaries. No one to save them, except the humans. Darius stood before a holomap showing thousands of Silith ships massing near a collapsing starport. He did not hesitate. "Launch the Ashen Fleet," he said. "Prepare the EMSA expansion teams. We bring them hope." Across secret jump gates, black human warships blinked into Silith space. The Silith watched through trembling comm channels as human marines dropped from cloaked carriers. They carried food, medicine, and weapons to protect the weak. The pirates who preyed on the refugees were met with unyielding steel. In hours, the silken banners of the pirates lay in ashes. The Silith people wept. They knelt and touched the human soldiers' boots in thanks. Darius watched from orbit, his face cold but proud. "This is our moment," he murmured. "We are no longer outcasts." But even as humans celebrated victory, Argioas detected disturbances. A Council reconnaissance ship had picked up traces of human tech near Silith space. It sent a warning wave through Council networks. Human incursion. Potential threat. In the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, holograms of burning Silith ships and human banners flickered before the same crystal High Chancellor. Council members whispered in terror and anger. They dare help the weak. One hissed. They grow too fast. Another warned. We must act, said a third in cold steel, or they will become unstoppable. On Earth, Darius received the message from HFY. The Council knows. They prepare to strike. He pressed his lips together. Then we strike first. In hidden docking bays, the new warships of the Ashen Fleet slipped from their stations. Hidden carriers disgorged small fighters. Cloaks shimmered off. Humans in sleek helmets gripped joysticks tight. The city in the Black Nebula stood ready behind them. As the fleet raced toward the nearest Council outpost, Darius held the line of command. Remember, he told every pilot, we do not fight for hate. We fight for those who have no voice. We fight for our place in the stars. And we win. The pilots nodded. Engines roared. The dark ghost fleet shot forward like a black comet. Their shadows danced across star charts and Council screens alike. In a dark part of the galaxy, far from any Council system, a small alien mining ship picked up something strange. A signal. It was not from any known race. It was human. The alien pilot froze. He remembered the Council's warning. Humans were to be avoided. Dangerous. Unpredictable. But the signal was clear. And it was coming from inside a dead star system. No known life. No light. Just dust and silence. The pilot turned his ship away. He would not go there. He would report the signal and let others deal with it. He didn't know it, but he had just touched the edge of something huge, something that had been growing in the dark. The human empire was beginning to rise. After the Council trial, Earth had gone quiet on the outside. But underground, behind sealed doors, in hidden systems, humans were building faster than ever before. Project Exodus had entered Phase 2. On Titan, Saturn's largest moon, a secret shipyard was almost complete. Massive cranes moved like insects, building ships from special metals stolen or traded years ago. These ships were not like the old ones. They were better, faster, invisible to most scanners, and more deadly. Commanders were now awake. These were not simple programs. These were war minds, thinking, learning, adapting. Each one controlled thousands of drones and machines. Each one had one order: protect humanity. A special AI, called HFY, watched over everything. It controlled hundreds of tasks at once: building, planning, training. It had no face, no body, but its mind was everywhere. HFY spoke only to one man, Darius Fell. You are behind schedule, the AI said as Darius entered the command room. We are not building toys, Darius answered. These ships need to be perfect. You cannot wait forever. The Council is watching. They just don't see you yet. Darius nodded. That's why we need time. Time to grow. Time to become something they can't destroy. Across secret colonies, humans were changing. Scientists created new armor that bonded to the skin. Soldiers were enhanced with tech that made them faster, stronger, more aware. Even children were being trained, not just in reading and math, but in survival, tactics, and history. General Silva stood at the edge of a training field, watching young fighters move through tests. They were only 16 or 17, but already deadly. They don't smile, she said to her second in command. No, General. They weren't raised to smile. She nodded. Maybe that's for the best. In the asteroid city called Black Hollow, traders from outlaw planets arrived quietly. They brought supplies, tech, and information. In return, they were given protection and a promise. The human empire does not forget its friends. Many of these traders were aliens. Not everyone hated humanity. Some had been saved by humans before. Others just wanted someone strong enough to fight the council. Word spread in secret places. A new power was growing. A power that did not ask for permission. A power that was not afraid. The first true test came 3 months later. A pirate fleet attacked a small human outpost in the Silent Belt. These pirates were known killers, untouched by the council, feared across 5 systems. They expected an easy victory. What they found instead was the Ashen Fleet. 10 ships came out of the dark like shadows. Black, silent, deadly. In less than 10 minutes, the pirate fleet was gone. Not one human ship was lost. The council never heard about the fight. The pirates had no one left to speak. Darius stood before a room full of commanders and scientists. "They're testing us," he said, "looking for weakness." That was only the first wave. "What should we do?" a young officer asked. "Finish Phase 3, Darius said. "It's time we stop hiding." The command room went silent. Everyone knew what that meant. It meant expansion. New colonies, more fleets, bigger weapons, no more waiting. Argios began sending instructions across hidden channels. Thousands of workers, both human and alien, began moving toward new planets. Terraformers were activated. War factories doubled production. The stars would no longer belong only to the Council. They would belong to those strong enough to take them, and humanity was ready to take them all. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was filled with silence. Thousands of alien leaders sat in a circle, their eyes glowing, their minds connected through high-level telepathy. In the center of the hall, under a cold blue light, stood one man, Ambassador Darius Vale of Earth. He was tall, dressed in a simple black suit, his face calm but tired. The silence broke when the High Chancellor, a floating creature of crystal and light, spoke with a voice that echoed in all directions. "Earth has been judged." Darius did not speak. He stood still as the accusations began. "You have destroyed planets in your wars. You poisoned your own world. You created weapons to end all life. You cannot be trusted." One by one, the council members took turns. Some were cold, some angry. A few looked sad, but none stood for Earth. The judgment was already decided. Humanity would be cast out of the Galactic Union, cut off from trade, protection, and knowledge, alone in a galaxy full of danger. Darius waited until the last voice finished. Then he spoke. His voice was deep, quiet, but strong. "Yes, we have made mistakes, but we also saved worlds. We helped build peace. We gave more than we took. But you never saw that. You never wanted to." The council ignored his words. The vote began. One by one, glowing hands were raised. Yes, yes, yes. Every hand. No one spoke for Earth. The High Chancellor turned to Darius. "The vote is complete. Earth is exiled. You have 7 days to leave all council space. Do not return." Darius bowed slightly. "We will leave, but remember this moment." He turned and walked away. The guards did not follow. He was not dangerous to them anymore, just another defeated man from a defeated world. But Darius was not defeated. As he left the hall, a small device in his pocket blinked once. Green. That was the signal. Back on Earth, deep under the mountains of Alaska, a hidden room lit up. Inside were 12 people, generals, scientists, engineers, all silent, all watching the screen. A voice came through. "The trial is over. They cast us out. Start the plan." The people nodded. One man turned a key. Another pressed a button. Project Exodus was now active. Far from Earth, in dead asteroid belts and cold moons, old machines came to life. Hidden factories began to move. Robotic arms built ships with speed and silence. Deep code AI programs woke from sleep. They were old war mines, illegal by council law, but Earth was no longer under council law. On Mars, underground bunkers opened. Soldiers who had been sleeping in cryo for 10 years began to wake up. Enhanced humans, trained for a war that never came, until now. A message was sent across Earth's hidden channels. Phase 1. Rebuild. Darius returned to Earth. He was not welcomed like a hero. The people were afraid, angry, confused. News channels screamed about betrayal, about war, about being left behind. But in the shadows, the real leaders were calm. They had known this day would come. They had planned for it. Darius met with General Silva, an old woman with silver eyes and a metal arm. She had fought in the last war between Earth and the pirates of the Outer Rim. She smiled when she saw him. "They kicked us out?" she asked. He nodded. "All of them, even the ones we helped." She laughed. "Then it's time they learn what humans do when left alone." He looked at her. "We don't want war." She nodded. "But we will be ready for it." Weeks passed. Earth became silent to the galaxy. No messages, no trade, no ships. The Council believed humanity was broken. But under the surface, Earth was moving faster than ever before. Satellites were turned into defense drones. Old mining ships were turned into warships. New designs were tested, ships that could vanish into dark space, armor that could survive a star's heat, weapons that used black hole tech. Children were taught new history, not the one written by the Council, but the truth. The truth of betrayal, of strength, of survival. On a small moon near Saturn, a secret base finished building the first of the Ashen Fleet. Black ships, sharp as knives, silent as ghosts. Each ship had one symbol painted on the side, a red Earth with broken chains. One night, Darius stood on the edge of the Arctic, watching the sky. Above him, a trail of light marked the launch of another ship. He did not smile. There was no joy in this. But there was purpose. They had been judged, cast out. Now, they would rise. And the galaxy would remember them, not as outcasts, but as something far more dangerous. As survivors, builders, warriors. As the future. And so began the quiet rise of an empire that would one day shake the stars. Would you like me to continue with part 2 now? The Council's central planet, Orital, had never known fear. Its skies were filled with gold-armored ships, its towers reached through clouds, and its people believed they were safe, untouchable, above the rest of the galaxy. That changed when the message arrived. We are coming. It showed on every screen. It played in every tongue. No threat, no curse, just a promise. Now, the Council feared. High Chancellor Vera stood inside the war chamber, surrounded by 10 alien leaders from the core worlds. Her face was pale, voice tight. The humans are expanding. Their fleets grow. Their allies multiply. And now, they threaten us directly. One counselor slammed the table. "Then we crush them now." Vera shook her head. "That's what we said before. And yet here we are." Another whispered, "What if we talk to them?" The room fell silent. But just then, a report came in. A human fleet had entered Sector 19, Council-controlled space. They weren't attacking. They were helping. A mining colony was under threat from a starquake. The Council had ignored the distress call, thinking it was too risky. But the humans responded. Their ships rescued hundreds, sent food, repaired damaged structures. Now, that colony flew the Earth flag. This confused many across the galaxy. Were the humans invaders or saviors? Back in the human empire, Darius Vale knew what he was doing. "We don't conquer," he told his generals. "We rebuild. We protect. That's how we win hearts and systems." He stood aboard the ISS Vindicator, the largest human command ship ever made. It was heading toward the midline, the border between Council space and neutral zones. The mission was bold. Establish the first open human embassy on an alien world. The planet was Kessari Prime, a trade hub with no army, no allegiance, but it sat at a key point in space. The Council assumed Kesari belonged to them. Darius had other plans. "We land in daylight," he said. "No hiding. No tricks. The galaxy will see our flag rise." As the Vindicator approached, Council ships tried to block them. "This is Council space. Turn back or be fired upon." Darius answered calmly, "We are not here to fight. But if you fire, know that we will finish it." The Council ships hesitated. Their scanners showed the Vindicator's firepower. It could destroy them in minutes. Quietly, they moved aside. The human fleet entered Kesari orbit. Within hours, engineers and soldiers landed. They set up a diplomatic base and opened the gates. Crowds of curious aliens came to see. They expected monsters. What they saw were calm, focused humans, sharing food, giving medicine, helping fix broken machines. A young alien merchant whispered, "These are not the humans I was warned about." By nightfall, the Kesari Trade Council had signed a deal with Darius. Full trade rights, shared security, and permission for a permanent human embassy. The news hit the galaxy like a comet. For the first time in centuries, a non-council power had taken official ground in open space and been welcomed. Back on Orital, Chancellor Vera stared at the report. Her claws curled in frustration. "They are not just building ships," she hissed. "They are building loyalty." And she was right. Across border worlds, the poor and forgotten began painting Earth symbols on walls. Smugglers and miners flew human flags. Refugees looked to the stars, hoping for a black ship to appear, because where humans landed, safety followed. But the Council would not give up so easily. In a hidden station, Council scientists activated Project Silence, a dark fleet. Silent engines. No markings. No trace. Built to erase. Its target, the human embassy on Kesari Prime. But the humans were ready. Argios had already seen the signals: shifts in traffic, cold space patterns, odd radiation spikes. "They're sending assassins," the AI told Darius. 5 ships, silent, deadly. Darius smiled coldly. Let them come. He turned to his shadow unit, humans trained in zero-gravity war, born from Earth's black sites, raised by AI mentors. "Defend the embassy," he said. "No survivors." That night, the enemy came. 5 ghost ships entered Kesari space. They launched shadow pods. No alarms were triggered. But as the first assassins stepped onto the embassy grounds, the humans were waiting. Silent weapons fired. Walls moved. Gravity flipped. In less than 8 minutes, all 5 enemy teams were dead. Argios reported, "Threat eliminated." Message sent to Council: "Do not test our kindness." The next morning, a new flag was raised beside Earth's. It read, "Kesari Prime, protected by the human empire." And the galaxy knew something had changed forever. All across the galaxy, people were talking. In the bars of mining moons, in the halls of merchant cities, even inside secret council bases, everyone was whispering the same question. What is Earth planning next? The humans had not only survived exile, they had become something more. They didn't just build ships. They built trust. They didn't just fight battles. They protected worlds the Council had forgotten. And now, the Council was falling behind. Chancellor Vera called an emergency meeting with the High Command. The room was dark. The mood was worse. "They've taken Kesari Prime without a single shot fired," she said. "They're gaining allies faster than we can track." One general spoke up. "Then we must break them now. We know where their forward fleets are. One strike could wipe them out." Another shouted, "No, that will make them martyrs." Vera slammed her fist on the table. "We do both." The new plan was simple: strike and lie. Blame a third party. Make Earth look weak, confused, and surrounded. Project Echo Storm was born. On the outer edge of human-controlled space, a massive fuel refinery orbited the gas giant Fornax 7. It powered half of Earth's new trade fleets. One quiet night, 20 enemy ships dropped out of warp. They wore no flags. They gave no warnings. And they opened fire. The refinery shook under the assault. Explosions tore through its steel body. Emergency sirens screamed. Hundreds of workers ran for escape pods, but many were trapped. On the surface of a nearby moon, a human patrol picked up the alarm. Commander Rhea Cade got the alert first. Hostile attack. No ID. Civilian lives at risk. She didn't wait for orders. Her squad launched within minutes. As the refinery crumbled, Cade's ship burst through the smoke and fire. Her team deployed in high-speed drop pods, slamming onto the burning station. Inside the chaos, Cade's voice echoed through her comms. Protect the workers. Stabilize the core. Fight back. It was a nightmare. Explosions everywhere. No gravity in some areas. Fires in others. Enemy soldiers in black armor moved like shadows, shooting anything that moved. But the humans pushed forward. Rhea Cade fought like a storm. Her plasma blade cut through enemy soldiers. Her team locked down corridors, pulled civilians to safety, and sealed off the fuel core just before it detonated. When the last enemy fell, the humans stood in the ruins, alive, but changed. They had lost 50 workers, but saved 2,000. The enemy fleet disappeared before anyone could trace them, and soon after, the blame began. Council news channels reported that the attackers were part of a rogue Earth military unit. That Earth had attacked its own station to gain sympathy. The lie spread fast. Many neutral systems paused trade with humans. Some allies hesitated. Fear returned. Back on Earth, Darius watched the news reports in silence. "They're playing dirty," said General Silva. "Spreading fear, painting us as traitors." Argos nodded. "They believe this will slow us down." Darius stood. "Then let's show them what happens when we stop holding back." He turned to Argos. "Send the call." Across the galaxy, deep within secret stations and training moons, human sleeper fleets received a message. Standby order canceled. Operation Dawnfire is active. Ships powered up. Troopers armed themselves. Covered agents activated their cover stories. The human empire was done playing defense. Now, it would strike. And their first target wasn't a battlefield. It was a broadcast tower. High above the planet Axtery-6, a massive council station controlled 42% of the galaxy's media flow. If you could control that tower, you could speak to almost every major world. That night, the humans took it, without killing a single soul. Stealth units infiltrated the tower. Security systems were bypassed. The entire council crew was locked in a safe room, unharmed but unable to stop what came next. Across the galaxy, every screen went black. Then a face appeared. Darius fell, calm, unshaken, eyes sharp as steel. He spoke clearly in every major language. "Humanity did not ask for war. We asked for a seat at the table. You threw us out. You tried to erase us. But we endured. We rebuilt. And now, we rise." He paused. "To those who still believe in peace, our hand is open. To those who spread lies and fear, be warned." The signal ended. Silence followed. Then, across neutral systems, something changed. Flags of Earth were raised again. Old allies returned. And some council members, secretly, sent offers of talks. The tide was turning. And Earth was not finished yet. It began with silence. Then came the storm. After Darius's broadcast, the galaxy changed. Some systems cheered. Others hid. The council burned with anger and fear. They called for an emergency summit. All member species gathered on Orital, the council's shining capital. Chancellor Vera stood before the assembly, voice full of fire. "Humanity has threatened our order. They attack with kindness. They speak with steel. If we do not act now, we fall. The vote was quick. War. A full galactic blockade against all human worlds. Every council ship was activated. Billions of credits poured into military buildup. The galaxy prepared for the largest assault in history. But Earth was ready. In the void beyond Neptune, hidden gates opened. Earth's true fleet emerged. Not hundreds, but thousands of ships, built in the shadows, silent, black, and powerful. No one knew they existed. Now, they lit up the stars. Each one carried next-gen AI, stealth tech, and hybrid human-AI command teams. They weren't just weapons. They were symbols of what humanity had become. Darius Vale stood aboard the ISS Genesis, the heart of the fleet. Beside him, Argios spoke calmly. Enemy forces will reach us in 72 hours. General Silva looked at the displays. 50,000 ships. That's not war. That's extermination. Darius nodded. Then we don't wait. He sent a single command. Execute Operation Eclipse. Across the stars, Earth's hidden allies rose. Smuggler fleets turned on council ships. Rebel colonies declared independence. Even deep within council space, whispers of human tech had been planted. Sabotage teams struck power grids. Stargates failed. Communications collapsed. The Council's great war machine stuttered before it even started. Then came Earth's move. The Genesis led the fleet into the Council's core region, bold and unstoppable. Instead of bombing cities or burning worlds, they targeted military headquarters, weapon depots, and control towers with perfect precision. In each place, they left food, water, and medical care for civilians. The message was clear. We came to end your rule, not your lives. Council defenses crumbled. One by one, key planets surrendered, not from fear, but from choice. They had seen what humanity offered: protection, truth, strength, and freedom. At last, Earth's fleet reached Orital. Council forces stood ready for the final battle. But before the first shot, something unexpected happened. The people of Orital rose up. Aliens marched in the streets, not in protest, but in support. They held signs in dozens of languages. We welcome Earth. The Council failed us. Let the new empire begin. Chancellor Vera gave the order to fire on her own people. Her generals refused. She screamed, but no one listened. A small human landing craft touched down on the council tower. Darius Vale stepped out with a few guards. No weapons raised, just a flag in his hand. He walked up the steps, past silent council guards, and entered the great hall. Chancellor Vera stood alone. "You think you've won," she hissed. "No," Darius said softly. "I think the galaxy finally stood up." She lunged, but he didn't flinch. Argios activated the failsafe. Vera collapsed, unconscious. Her implant shut down. It was over. 1 week later, a new government was formed. Not a council, not an empire of fear, but an alliance of free worlds, led by Earth, guided by peace, protected by strength. The flag of Earth flew alongside dozens of others. Darius Vale did not crown himself emperor. He stepped down and returned to Earth. The galaxy would remember him as the man who rose from exile and gave the stars back to the people. And so, the story of humanity, the species cast out, betrayed, and forgotten, ended not with revenge, but with leadership. They had built an empire, not to rule, but to protect. The stars were quiet once more, but this time they belonged to everyone.